We're here today with my blog, Consumers Reform Tarion, to talk to MPP Jagmeet Singh, who just today introduced at a press conference at Queen's Park a new bill to bring, thank goodness, long-awaited accountability and transparency to Tarion Warranty Corporation. So we want to thank you, our group of consumers who suffered a lot. You really were able to understand our issues and present a bill that looks after consumers, and we want to thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be able to raise the concerns of the people of Ontario.
And I want to ask you about a comment. We keep hearing from the minister, now it's Minister David Orsiaki. He has told us, in fact, he sent an email to several consumers last evening, just before the presentation of the bill, where he said, "It is my responsibility to see that the public interest is protected," referring to Tarion. In your opinion, is the public interest being protected?
Well, absolutely not. There's so many complaints about what's going on in Tarion. We've known this for years and years. It's not a new phenomenon that just happened and the ministry or the minister didn't know about it. The complaints are numerous and they're very, very pointed. Essentially, it looks like Tarion is set up to appear like it's consumer protection, but in actuality, in a practical sense, it's actually denying claims, not allowing people to get the coverage they need, and creating a barrier. And we've heard testimonials from folks saying it's literally a barrier to getting the coverage they need.
Correct. Isn't that, don't you call that in politics and in law, that's a moral hazard, isn't it? Because we give them our trust, we give them our money, we expect them to take our side, but in a lot of cases, particularly at the License Appeal Tribunal hearings, we end up seeing them taking the side of the builder. So the money that is supposed to be going toward consumer protection is being diverted, and there's no way to check that.
Well, that's the major concern. The major concern is that Tarion is the only provider of new home warranty. They have a monopoly on the system. They've been appointed by the government. So it would flow that if they're appointed by the government should provide the oversight to make sure they're actually engaging in a system, a practice of business that protects the consumer. And when they're denying claim after claim, when they're putting so much of their resources into legal fees to defend against a claim, we really question whether this is an organization that's actually committed to consumer protection, or is it just committed to protecting its own self-interest.
And how has this been allowed to go on for so long? I mean, to you and I, sitting there listening, I think you'll agree with me, listening to these consumers and listening to your talk and Karen Somerville's from Canadian for Privately Built Homes, do they get it? Do they don't get it? Or do they get it and they don't have to do anything about it until you bring your bill?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, if Tarion is paying attention, they should start to do something, because if they don't do anything, if they don't take the right steps, with public pressure, what our hope is that through showing that this is a serious issue, by highlighting the concerns, by raising a private member's bill, by introducing that today, what we're doing is we're putting the spotlight on Tarion. We're showing, look, there's some problems here. The public is getting more and more awareness around it. The government is now learning about it. Our hope is that through putting that pressure, putting that spotlight on it, putting that scrutiny on the company, or putting on Tarion, we'll see some positive changes. And if they don't happen, then the government has to step in and make sure that happens. And if the government doesn't do it, we need the public to push the government.
Correct, which is what you're helping us do, because
That's
you're
right.
representing the consumer,
Right.
which is what the legislation was meant to do.
That's right.
And let me ask you this question, because this is important for the next step.
Sure.
I think your point that you made, that a private member's bill is a way to push government.
Right.
That's what we need, and
Exactly.
that's what we're about. And so when you place this bill this afternoon, you table it at 3 p.m. this afternoon, what would you say to your Liberal colleagues, your MPP colleagues, if you had them on the phone? Why would you tell them that they should support the bill?
Well, this is what I would say. I would say very frankly, if the government is serious about doing this, they should introduce their own bill, and I'd be more than happy to support their bill. Now, they have a majority. My goal is to present what I would do for them to now realize that there's something that can be done, to provide them with an example. And maybe they want to tackle it a different way. Maybe they want to go further. Maybe they want to take another intermediate step. Whatever they want to do, end of the day, something must be done. And so I'd say, listen, speak to your constituents. Any MPP across Ontario, speak to your constituents, speak to new homeowners, and ask them what their experience has been with Tarion. And every single one of them will tell them, I'm sure, that they've had difficulties, they've had problems, and if you listen to the concerns of your constituents, you would have no doubt in your mind that you need to support a bill like this, or come up with your own bill in the same type of area that brings accountability. And everyone cares about accountability. Everyone wants to know how their dollars are being spent. If you're buying a warranty, how is that warranty going to protect you?
Exactly. Thank you so much, MPP Singh. You'll be on the right side of history if we can pass this
Oh,
bill.
for sure.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
A pleasure.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.